Good morning, it's Friday, and I have a new shirt on. I'm with Shaun, dig deep. So I haven't talked about it too much. This is going to be a devotional video. This is going to be morning motivation, but I got to get some announcements out of the way. I haven't talked about it much, but the week of June 12th, if you follow any other Beachbody coaches, you probably have already seen it. Shaun, the creator of Insanity, Hip Hop Abs, Size, is coming out with 7 new workouts. So Beachbody On Demand is going to be called Shaun Week, and each workout will be released one day at a time. So if you're in the middle of a program currently, you can do Shaun Week as a little added bonus, or you can take a break from your program, do some Shaun Week, do a little Shaun Week here, do a little 21 Day Fix here. I am planning on showing up for Shaun Week on top of Hammer and Chisel. That's my plan. I'm with Shaun T. So, with all of that being said, I am going to run my first ever free group during Shaun Week. Never have I done a free group before. Sounds like too much work, but I'm super excited for this opportunity to share with friends and family what we do inside these virtual gyms for free. So, if anyone has anyone that might be interested, if you've had amazing experience, results, life change from one of my groups, I would absolutely adore if you referred anyone. That's how I build my business. So if you've thought about being a coach, now's the time. We can get you started. But if you just want to refer somebody, if you think someone would love this, join me. Love to join me. I would love the referral. Go ahead and tag them in my video, share my video about my free group, or connect them with me. I would be so excited. So basically, how that's going to work is you can get a 14-day trial to Beachbody On Demand, and so we'll get them plugged in with the 14-day trial. I'll plug them into one of these groups. I'll do morning videos. I'll talk to them about meal prep and eating healthy and proper portions and all of that. They won't get any Shakeology or containers or anything, but they will have 14-day access to All Access Beachbody On Demand. So that's how that's going to work. So now that that's out of the way, I was going to do a little bit more of the gifts of imperfection, but my devotional this morning, you guys, was about shame and guilt, and it was on point. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you. So I'm going to get a little bit churchy on you. It is by If. If you know what If is, I went to the If gathering a couple years ago. It's a women's conference. So I get these emails every day for like a year and a half, and I don't ever open them. And I just recently started opening them. And they're amazing little nuggets in the morning. So this one is by Ellie Holcomb, and I actually quoted and tagged her in Facebook and Instagram because one of the quotes was so good. But basically, she starts out by saying, "He turned my mess into his display of splendor." And I've said before, he turned my mess into my message, right? My eating disorders, my sexual sin, all of that stuff, he's turned into my message. So, basically, she just talks about sharing her story, which we've talked about so much with the gifts of imperfection. And I'm just going to read. Can I read this to you? I know Selena said she listens to me in the car or while she's getting ready, and it's 6:24, so maybe some of you could listen to this while you're getting ready. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you and what not to tell you, so I'm just going to read a little bit. They asked Ellie, "In what ways do you see the gospel reflected in your personal story?" That's not the part I wanted to read. One second. This is the part that is so good. Okay. The interviewer asked her, "Recall a time when learning the story of God, how the story of God worked in someone else's life influenced your faith." Okay. "I had a small group leader who shared her story with me. She grew up in the church and spent a lot of her life feeling guilty for not being perfect enough. She explained that she was learning that if we stay feeling guilty, it's like we are living as if Jesus didn't walk out of the grave." Let me say that again. If you stay feeling guilty, you are living like Jesus did not walk out of the grave. "It is as if I'm saying it wasn't enough for Jesus to die on the cross for me." That conversation with my small group leader began a road to freedom from guilt and shame. How good is that? this ties into what we're learning so much. It's like God wanted us to hear this or something. Okay, the next part, she says, why do you believe it's important to share the stories of how God has worked in our lives? The first sentence, we are hardwired for stories. How many times in here did Brene say we're hardwired for connection, relationship, and stories? We are hardwired for stories, and I believe that when we hear stories of how God has worked in others' lives, it helps confirm in our souls the bigger story that the gospel is true. I love how Sally Lloyd-Jones, the author of the story of God's love for you, I want to get that book now, says the Bible is most of all a story. It's an adventure story about a young hero who comes from a far country to win back his lost treasure. Goosebumps. It's a love story about a brave prince who leaves his palace, his throne, and everything to rescue the one he loves. You. It's like the most wonderful of fairy tales that has come true in real life. When we share our stories, we get to be a part of telling a bigger story of God's love for us, and I believe that's what we're made to do. So, of course, this video is longer than 5 minutes. Struggle bus sometimes, but Jesus is for real, y'all. That story this morning in my devotional, I just wanted to shout it from the rooftop, and it goes so well with what we're talking about, with loving ourselves and owning our story and all of that stuff about vulnerability and shame. And how about the illustration of if you're holding on to guilt and shame, you're ignoring the cross. You're ignoring Jesus' blood. You're ignoring all of those things. So think about that if you're holding on to anything today, and really just take yourself there. Take yourself to Jesus rolling away the rock, walking out of the grave, talking to Mary, and saying, go and tell my friends. Okay? Happy Friday. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful day. I've got some sun going on, got some suntan in my yellow tank top, and I'm about to get some total body chisel on. Can you tell I slept last night? All right, we're up to 7 minutes. I gotta go. I love you.